today it's finally happening. Much better. Every morning for the last few months, I've been sneaking up before everyone else in the family to work on my next big project. I may be a simple man living a simple life, but I'm not this simple. When I think about it, this project has been years in the making. You know, that kind of project that really gets your creativity flowing and keeps you up at night. I've been working on everything from big picture to small details to get it exactly right. Writing scripts, deciding on a name, designing a logo, choosing fonts, inviting guests. And today I'm finally ready to tell you. No, I'm not proposing to Christina, not yet at least. For the last few months I've been working on something that is very special to me. And that something very special is my True North is my very own podcast, where I sit down with a fascinating individual who has been brave enough to go after what they truly want out of life. What if I quit my job and started my own creative business? What if I went for my dream of writing a book? What if I left the city and moved to the countryside? And before you say it, yeah, I know, there are a lot of podcasts already out there. But just wait a little bit until you've seen what guests I've already booked to the show. And now you might be wondering, when and where can I listen to the podcast? Well, more on that later in the video. Just as a compass points toward a magnetic field, your personal true north directs your path and pulls you forward. It helps you to listen and understand that whisper you're carrying around inside of yourself. That voice telling you it must be more to life than what you have been told. The individuals I'm interviewing found out that it doesn't matter if your true north leads you onto a path no one has ever taken before, or you're following in someone else's footsteps. What matters is that you stay true to yourself. Following your true north is about going after what you want. It is your deepest beliefs, values, and principles you live by. It is your internal compass, unique to you. If you like the idea of this podcast, which I really hope you do, just take 1 second of your life and like this video, because that tells YouTube that this video is worth watching and they will push it out to more people. So by liking the video, you're basically supporting both this channel and me and the podcast. So thank you for the like. I really appreciate it. And now let's move on to why me on a personal level wanted to start this podcast. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. The ones I have invited to the podcast is actually people I want to get to know on a personal level and be friends with. But to be honest, it's a bit awkward to just reach out and say like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime maybe? It's just way easier to reach out and say, hey, do you want to be a guest on my podcast? Best excuse ever. So that's my pro tip to you. If you want to make new friends, just start a podcast. A lot of you know me for my filmmaking here on YouTube, but what you don't know is that my background is not video at all. It's actually audio and sound design. About 12 years ago, I was around 21 years old, and I was honestly a bit lost in life, which I guess most 21-year-olds are. But I was working as a manager at McDonald's. Let's put it this way, I wanted a bit more out of life than just flipping burgers and being stressed constantly. So I went after the only thing I really truly loved in life, which was music and sound design. I've studied that subject for over 6 years in total, and I even have a bachelor's degree in it. I thought about starting my own podcast back then when I was in school, even before podcasts even were a thing. But I was so afraid of what people were going to think and say. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes we do when we want to do something with our lives. We think about what everyone else is going to think about it, when they don't really care. But 8 years later, after studies, I met a new friend online called Jacqueline, and we started our very own podcast in Swedish called Nyfiken på mindre. And we had that for over a year, but since I switched all my accounts from Swedish to English, it didn't make any sense to keep the Swedish podcast. And that is why I'm sitting here right now and talking to you, because it's time to make a change. The first episodes of the podcast is actually already live on a platform called Nebula. My creative friends and I have teamed up to create our very own platform, where creators do what we do best, which is create. On Nebula, you will also get early access to all of my YouTube videos and podcast episodes, and everything is ad-free. Like this whole talk I'm doing right now in front of you guys, that won't be in the video on Nebula. If you want to get access to all of these things, the best way to do that is to sign up to CuriosityStream, which is kindly enough sponsoring this video. If you haven't heard, CuriosityStream is the world-leading documentary streaming subscription platform, and they have over thousands of really high-quality documentaries. And one of my favorites so far is this one, Owls, Masters of the Night. For some reason, I've always had this big fascination for owls, and I've actually always wanted to get like a big owl tattoo on my chest.
You're not getting an owl tattoo on your chest, honey.
Okay, maybe I'm not getting the owl tattoo, but I can at least watch the documentaries. And the best part about this is that because CuriosityStream support independent creators, we got a special bundle with Nebula right now. If you sign up to CuriosityStream for a year, you will get free access to Nebula. It's less than $15 a year. $15 a year, which is incredible, for high quality documentaries plus all of the bonus content over at Nebula, including getting early access to my podcast. If you want to get access to this deal, head over to curiositystream.com/Kalle Flodin, or just hit the link in the description. And by signing up, you're also supporting this channel, actually. And just to be clear with you, the podcast will still be available on platforms like Spotify and iTunes, but there will always be a 2-week delay from Nebula over to, say, Spotify. So if you want to get early access to the podcast before everyone else and get it ad-free, then I would recommend signing up to Nebula. And the best way to do that right now is to sign up to CuriosityStream, link in the description. If you made it all the way here into the video, I just want to say 2 things to you. First, I know my last 2 videos has been more like announcements, and after this video I will be going back to more like standard Kalle Flodin videos and more story driven. And second, I just want to say thank you for being here, watching my videos and being so supportive. The best part about uploading videos to YouTube is actually hanging out in the comment field after uploading. You guys are so kind and so supportive, so thank you so much for that, and we'll talk soon. I really hope you like the podcast. Bye. Wait until you see the guest that I have booked for the show. And now my as you know, I cannot sit here and just say ass. I always wonder if you people understand that I'm not sitting like fully dressed under here. The t-shirt is the only thing I'm wearing. Bye.